I often travel for work. Same routine every time, trains, buses, cheap hotels. After a while, all the trips blend into one endless day. You stop even noticing what city you're in. Last November, I had to visit a small provincial town. I won't say its name. You'll understand why. There were barely any hotels. I picked the first one I found, a 3-story Soviet-era building, once painted pale green, the paint now peeling away. The photos online looked ordinary, nothing scary, nothing unusual. When I stepped inside, the first thing that hit me was the smell, a mix of old carpet, dampness, and something faintly sweet that made my throat itch. Behind the desk sat a woman in her 40s, her face completely lifeless. You know that type of person? Like everything inside them is burned out, and they're just going through the motions. I asked for a room for one night. She didn't even check my ID. She just handed me a key with a wooden tag. The number burned into it read 47. Automatically, I joked, "Oh, lucky number." She didn't react, didn't even blink. The hallways were long, dim, and half-lit. Every other light bulb was out, leaving pockets of darkness. As I walked past, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was standing there, just out of sight, watching me. Room 47 was at the very end of the corridor. The lock jammed and I had to twist the key several times before the door creaked open. Inside was the same setup I'd seen 100 times before. 2 single beds, a nightstand, a crooked wardrobe, and old record TV set, and heavy curtains that swallowed all light. Just another cheap room. But one thing struck me. It was too quiet. I opened the window, and even then I couldn't hear the street. I dropped my bag and went to the bathroom. The mirror was cloudy, its edges black with age. As I washed my hands, the bulb above flickered. Each time it went dark, I had the strangest sense that my reflection had shifted slightly, barely noticeable. I blamed exhaustion. Back in the room, I tried to use my phone. No signal, not even emergency calls. I opened my laptop. No Wi-Fi networks at all, though in other parts of town, the reception was fine. It felt like the room was cut off from the outside world. I went to bed around midnight. For a long time, I tossed and turned. Finally, as I was drifting off, I heard a knock, a dull, muffled sound. At first, I thought it was neighbors, but the sound came again, from inside my room. More precisely, from the other bed, the empty one. The knocking grew into a scratching sound, like fingernails dragging across wood from underneath. I froze. My heart pounded so loudly it drowned out the noise. I wanted to switch on the light, but my body wouldn't move. I just lay there, listening. For 5 minutes it went on, then suddenly stopped. I didn't sleep at all that night. In the morning, curiosity got the better of me. I pushed the other bed aside and looked underneath. Nothing except a crumpled pillowcase, old, faded, stained with dark spots. I touched it. It was slightly damp. I flipped through it absent-mindedly. Room 47 appeared many times. Almost always there was a check-in date, but no check-out, just blank spaces. Some names had been violently crossed out, as if someone had tried to erase them in a hurry. Cold sweat broke out on my back. I dropped the key on the desk and left without a word.
A week later, I had to return to that town. I booked another hotel, but in the evening, something made me check. I searched online for the place where I'd stayed. Nothing. No listings, no address, as if the hotel had never existed. I thought maybe I was mistaken. Then I remembered the photo. That night, I'd taken a picture of the key on the nightstand so I wouldn't forget my room number. The photo was still on my phone, a wooden tag with the number 47 carved into it. But when I zoomed in, I noticed something that made my stomach turn cold. Behind the key, where the door should have been, there was only wall, just the patterned hallway carpet. No door at all.
I told a colleague. He laughed, said I was overtired. Still, out of curiosity, we decided to take a walk. I remembered the way, 10 minutes from the town center. And there it was, the building. Except it was dead. Windows boarded up, facade crumbling, dark inside. Looked like no one had lived there in decades. I stood staring, unable to process it. A week ago, I'd checked in. I'd spoken to the receptionist. I'd seen the lights in the corridor. Now, it was just a rotting shell. My colleague joked, "See, just your imagination." But as we walked around the back, I froze. On the brick wall, nailed crookedly, was a wooden plaque, faded, barely legible. It read, 47. I never went back. But ever since that night, I sometimes hear the same sound in my own apartment. Quiet scratching from under the bed. I've looked many times. There's never anything there. Except once. One time, I saw something white sticking out. I thought it was a sock. I pulled it out. It was an old pillowcase, faded, stained.